Oh yeah, our music's available. You just have to go, find our website, just go there. And if you just follow the links there, you can go to our social media, go to our Instagram. That'll take you right to our links where you can go to either our SoundCloud or one of those things. Just follow all those links. Make sure that, follow the rabbit trail. You'll find our music. Well, it's a little bit of work, yeah. Okay, maybe we should simplify this. Maybe find just one click where you can do everything. That probably makes a lot more sense. Save a lot of time. We should have a think on that. Hey everybody, and welcome to today's episode. And today we are just going to do a quick one and a very, very big and important one. We're going to talk about having a link in bio, or today specifically, we're going to go deep into Linktree. But we really just want you to get something that you can get all of your links, all of your websites, all of your upcoming shows, all your merch, everything, instead of having them spread out all over the net, have your fans and people that are interested in you have to search everywhere or lose interest halfway along the way. If they can just hit one link that has everything, that is the future. That is where everything is now. And if you haven't done this yet, it's understandable. There's so many things to take on as a musician, as an artist, as a band. But today we're going to get you there. We're going to get it done. So the first thing we're going to go over is, why is this important? Why should you have just one link that will incorporate everything you have to offer? Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about first impressions. So you really want to set that first impression that you have your stuff together. If somebody has to go searching and find your music, they want to listen to it. If they have to find your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your TikTok, separate places, separate things, or go to your website to then funnel through to separate things to find those links, to find your music, to find your videos, to possibly buy some merchandise and support you. It becomes tedious, and unless they're really either related to you or deep, hardcore fans, it's easy to get turned off and lose interest in doing this. And that first impression of being professional, have everything in one place, having that one business card that here I am, here you go, here's what I have to offer, really gives that impression of they have their stuff together, you have your stuff together, and I want to support them in their career moving forward. Now, that's just the first thing that we're going to talk about. The next thing is, of course, we need to address just the modern age we live in. Every year we move forward, the more things we're introduced to, the more social media platforms we have to absorb and take on, the more different forms of content that we have to create to try to keep interest and build a fan base. For some reason, the more that we have to do, the shorter everybody's attention span seems to be getting. And that is detrimental. If you have everything that you have to offer and everything that represents you and you want to get across to a fan base or a potential fan, if that's spread out everywhere, that attention span is your worst enemy. So having a single link focusing where everything's going to be, and they have access to learn more about you, learn about your music, who you are, your messaging, your branding, all in one spot. The enemy that is a short attention span is pretty much knocked out because it's all right there. It's at their fingertips. They can go down that. You are the rabbit hole at that point where they can dive deep into what you are and what you have to offer. That's huge. The next thing you want to talk about, of course, is that if we've got the attention span and now we've got the first impression, the biggest thing is that this becomes your weapon. You get to weaponize where you want to direct their attention, as opposed to where they might eventually wind up. Say if you, for example, just made some new t-shirts, some new hoodies, some new hats, and you want to throw your merch out there, maybe they'll eventually get there. You'll put a couple posts out on your social media, hope somebody picks them up. But if they're going to one link from everything from your Instagram, your TikTok, your LinkedIn, whatever you have, like every single one of them, Twitter, X, if it's all got the exact same link and the first thing you have on that link is your new merchandise right there, one button click away, you win. That's the first thing they're going to hit, and your new merchandise is right at their fingertips. Same thing if you have a new release, you have a new song coming out, you can rearrange your links to make sure that the first thing that they see about you is, hey, that new music's right here. Go take a listen. Up the stream counts, up the listening count. Make sure that if that's what the new thing is, that's the new thing you want them to hear. That's available right there. Those are some of the big reasons why this is a great idea and why you should be doing this with your modern music and as a career as a musician or even a hobbyist. But we're going to take you through a setup real quick of how to set one up. Now, down below in all the links, we do have a link that is from wix.com. It has a list of all of the great link and bio versions, options, alternatives that you have right now that you can go take a look at. What we're going to do is we're going to go to one that I just happen to know very well and is working great for the systems that we're using, the bands that we have, the groups, even through the studio that I run. You know, Linktree is just fantastic. I cannot recommend it highly enough. It is just great. So I'm going to take you through. We're going to go over the computer, do a quick walkthrough, and I'll show you how to set one up. Let's go do that right now. All right. So as we're going to go over there, the first thing we need is to talk about gathering all information. Before we start setting this up, you need a couple things. You need to gather all the links you have to any socials, including and not limited to, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or anything like that. All of them, anything you have a link to that has any of your information, photos, all that kind of stuff. You need a website. Of course, you should have a website at this point, whatever it may be. Obviously, I recommend Bandzoogle, but if there's other options, use them. And then the third thing, of course, again, YouTube, we mentioned the socials, but you want to get your video links, anything you have that has any kind of video, Venmo, YouTube, anything like that. Get everything you have all in one place. Get all of it ready. And of course, have a folder set up that has any image you have, like photos or anything that's going to be like a thumbnail of your music, artwork you've used for your music, video thumbnails you've used, anything like that. Have everything ready, and now we're ready to go. Okay, so here we are. We're going to do the walkthrough, just some quick, simple first steps on how to set up your Linktree and make sure that you've got that one-click business card ready to go. And again, this is just one example. We have all the other examples listed below. If this isn't your jam and you want to try something different, they're all listed below, all the alternatives. But this is just Linktree, and we're going to do a quick one right here. Here we have their first landing page, and I'm just going to use the 145 whirl as the example. So for right now, we're going to do 145whirl@gmail.com. So you have your email, which is great. Should probably be connected to the internet. Always works best. And from there, you want to make sure that as you're typing this in and you're making sure that you have your email in there, it's going to process and it's going to give you a username. So your username is going to be the URL that you're going to use. You're going to post all over everything. That's going to show your exact web address. And I just want to make sure that that reflects exactly what you want it to. So if you have a band name that's very short, or a solo name, just use your name. If you have a band and it's a shorter name that is easy to use, you don't want to get a very long name. If you start going with like Billy Bob and the Underground Mermaids, then start using the acronym and just the beginning letters, BBA and the UM, just make it really nice and short. But for this one, it's 145whirl, linktr.ee/145whirl. Very simple, so we'll use that. So we'll create the account. And then for the password part, we're going to let it suggest its own. And I'm going to show you this, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to delete it right after this anyway, so not a big deal. And then as that processes, thanks. We'll now enter our password. Save that for now. And you'll tell them your name. This will be your band name or whatever. If you're doing a solo act, again, just your name. That's what you're entering here. And then this is where it gets important. We have to tell it what we are doing. So what kind of enterprise? If it was a business, you tell them it was what kind of business, and whatever it is, it'll usually break it down. So we're gonna go entertainment here, and because we're doing music, we're gonna hit music and continue. And it's just gonna give us a basic quick rundown of all of the plans that are available to you. Excuse me. Today we're gonna show you how to do the free version, of course. It tells you all the different versions. I will give you some examples, of course, of different versions that and what they do. It's not really super important. Just the fact that you have one is the important part. By all means, let's just go with that free version. And beyond that, as we're looking over all the different things here, and let's join for free. Continue. So it brings you to this first page after you've done all that work. And on the side here, it gives you a nice breakdown of all of the things that you're entering, all the work you're doing. Puts them right up there for you. Lets you see exactly what your fans and anybody that follows you, what they're going to see right away. So we're just going to pick a quick theme. One that's super simple. Just one spray here. And continue. Now, we've gathered the links before, so this is the part where we're going to start entering those links and making sure that we have those available to our fans. So, what's the URL for anything? So we'll just use the YouTube here since we're doing 145, which we know here is https://www.145. Oh, no, sorry. youtube.com/@145rural. And it tells you right there, that's YouTube. Add that, please. And we've got our first button. So again, as soon as somebody clicks on your link in bio link, the first thing they're going to see is that first one comes up, and they'll hit that button. That'll take them right to whatever that link be. In this case, it's going to take to our landing page for this YouTube channel here. And we'll just continue. Got our first link. So that's, you're getting a breakdown of exactly how that works. Give you a walkthrough exactly how to set up your page. I want you to add at least 3 links, which you should have more than 3 if whatever you're doing. And then, of course, it gives you the option to share that. But I'm just going to walk you through a couple extra things just so you know how to do these. The first thing you want to do probably is just head into the appearance. Make sure that you have a profile image. So we will pick an image. We're going to upload from the computer. Oop. And for me, it's going to be under 145 rural and our logos. We'll just pick a quick logo. But when it's really great about cropping things out for you, showing what that looks like. Good enough. And you get a nice little overview over there in the corner. It shows you exactly what that looks like. So, again, very, very simple. Nothing too complicated. After you've got your appearance set up, you want to go back to your links. And this is where you just started entering all the information you have. And then the nice part about it is it really lets you customize how that works, what it's going to look like. Lets you set up your own little thumbnails, which is fantastic. We'll just walk through that. And I think that adds a nice little touch. If you can make your own little images, if you need help with that, it has a direct link, take you right to canva.com. Great place to do a lot of free work. But fantastic. We love that. So that's our YouTube channel. It has a little subscribe under it. It's cute. It works. But let's add another link. For this one, we'll just do another quick example, and we'll do the 145 Instagram. For me, easier just to go and copy and paste it, just because I like to make sure that I don't lose anything like that. And the nice part is that you can go and it just tells you exactly where to do these edits. And this one lets us change exactly what's going to be on the button. Tells you that it's going to be our Instagram. You click on that, it's going to go right to the Instagram. Again, super simple. If I wanted to add a thumbnail, that's where you go from there. But you can go step by step here. And the best part about these is that, like we were saying before, you get to funnel where you want any of your fans, anybody that's going to come look at your stuff, where you want them to go. So in this tiny little example that we're showing you how to set this up, if it turns out that I just had a new video drop and I wanted to make sure that people were seeing that, you can just switch these up and down. It switches the order in which those buttons are being clicked, and then that's the first thing that they have access to. Again, I'll share some examples here at the end of other places and how the studio uses it, and we make sure that the highest priority is at the top. And with bands, you get to make sure that whatever you're focusing on goes on top. And we'll go deeper into that. But that's exactly how you can set up all these things, all these links, and get your one-click Linktree or link in bio set up. Let's go have a final talk and go over some of the benefits and all that kind of stuff back at the desk. All right, fantastic. So now we know how to do it. We've gone through the steps. You know how to set one up. Get it done. Go get it done right now. If you don't have one, make sure you get your one and everything, your link in bio, one-click business card done. Right now, we're just going to go over a little bit more of the benefits and just a little summation of what we were talking about earlier. But again, first and foremost is that you're putting forward a cohesive, great first impression. And that's great. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is that what we were saying before, where you get to choose where to funnel your fans and anybody that clicks on any of your stuff. Just make sure that you are checking your links, all those kind of things that make sure everything's working. You don't want that. That kind of breaks the whole system. But the whole thing is that as long as you have a website set up, you already have a ton of content that you get to share. You might be struggling right now thinking, what do I have to put on this? What do I even have to promote? But if you have upcoming shows listed on your website, you can link directly to that. If you have any kind of merch, you can directly link right to your website. Make sure that they're going right to your merch. Just those kind of things really can make a difference. And like I said, I'm going to show you some quick examples here of what we've been doing. So the first example I want to show you is of how a group that is doing pretty well for themselves, and I'll share their Instagram right here, and the picture will be in our notes for the podcast. But the Little Smokies are from the area that I'm in. They're just a bluegrass band, but they're kind of blowing up. They're doing national tours. Their followers are up over 20,000 on Instagram. So they're doing pretty well for themselves. But they're using a Linktree link in bio. And on the screen, or if you're clicking on this through the podcast, you can take a look at that, and it breaks down exactly what their priorities are as a band. And you can see that really quickly. They have a show coming up at a certain theater. That's the first thing they have up. Then they have their up and coming dates where you can see where they're playing. And you can just go down the line and see exactly what works for them and what they're prioritizing. You can see the merch on there. You can see exactly what they want you to be clicking on. It's a great example. Another example I use is just the group that I'm using right now that I play for and that that we use, and that is Winging the Flight Risks. And they're just a small, no-time blues band. But on screen, or if you're clicking on the picture through the podcast, you can see that we're prioritizing a video we did, which was a cover of Stevie Ray Vaughan's Lenny. And then we're also prioritizing going and listening to that on Spotify, or you can visit the website and it's got all the social links. All those things are right there, ready to go for anybody that takes the time to click on our link in bio. Other things that you can put on there is if you're trying to get your band out there and you're trying to get out to promoters, you can directly link your EPK, your electronic press kit, which we will be doing here recently in the next week or so. So be sure to subscribe. Show you how to set up your electronic press kit. You can directly link right there so that your booker can just go bam, bam, 2 clicks, and they're ready to go. Another example I can show you is how we use it for the business here. Of course, we have a studio that we run, and of course, 145 Rural, which you're enjoying this on now. We've kind of incorporated those two into a single entity. And as I'm showing here on page, it's a great example of how we keep whatever we want current on top to funnel and give the best access to people that are clicking on it through our socials. And the very top you're seeing there, which was our recent video before this one at the time. And that was just on 5 great tips for getting better as an audio technician. So doing either mastering or mixing, how to get better at that and build your clientele faster. Go watch that if you want to get a better look at that. Right underneath that, we have our latest blog post from we run a blog where we're at. Of course, it's rural, so we're from Montana. So there's a blog on 10 great tips for all musicians should know about audio, and that's our Montana musicians music makers blog. And then after that, it's just the studio website, and then you have the 145 World YouTube. And it just kind of goes down the line of what we prioritize, we want people to click on, but it's all available in the exact same place. And then down below all that, we have all the socials that you ever have to go to, all our Instagrams and YouTubes and the Facebooks and the LinkedIn. Everything's all right there. Twitter, everything's ready to go. It makes everything nice and clean, and I can update it every week that, when there's new episodes, as there's new blog posts coming out, as there's anything that we have new coming through the studio. We have, EP and album releases, single releases coming out for our artists. We'd like to promote for them and help them out. It's just all in one place, and you can update it as it's going. And that's such a great tool. And you need to have this as part of your electronic toolkit as an artist, as a musician, as a band. The only other thing that we could really go over would just be, the paid versions and the free versions, and what the differences are, and what you should be using. It doesn't matter. Set it up. Use a free one. That's fine. It looks just fine. The first example we showed you with the Little Smokies, and also the second example that I personally use for Winging the Flight Risks, those are both the free versions. They don't look super fancy, nothing to them, but the only difference is that you don't get to track stats as well on that through Linktree. You can, if you do the paid version, you can see who's clicking on what and break it down further, which becomes useful. But that's kind of secondary as to having it and up and going. Down the line, if you want to pay for that, but just start with the free version, go that route. Beyond that, if you need any help setting your up, we've done it for bands, we've done it for groups, we've done it for businesses. Just contact us. We're happy to help you out. But let's just keep it short and sweet. If this helped you out, please give us a subscribe, give us a like, follow the podcast, whatever it is that you can do to give us a little bump up, help us out. It really does make a big difference. And we were excited to see you in the next one. Remember, we got that one on the electronic press kits coming out pretty soon, and a great interview with a local artist, Tommy Williams, also coming up soon. So subscribe, like, and we'll see you next week. Bye.